cases in order to ensure that there are no bail given to people that are accused of violence against women and children, as well as in terms of sentencing. The sentencing is in the right schedule where they could get a proper sentence that will keep rapists and murderers away from our society. So those kind of bills are not here. And I've also spoken to my member in Justice. They do not have, he has never seen such bills in their committee. And therefore, I make that appeal that please, Speaker, follow it up. Because if us as Parliament, we cannot draft a law that's tight enough to deal with this issue, we are going to repeat ourselves like scratch record over and over again, because it's the law that allows them bail and they go out and rape more people outside. They go back, but because they are not convicted and as yet, they are just accused, they're always eligible for bail, and therefore they still go out and do wrong things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I will definitely follow up. Is there any other voice on this matter?
Speaker, it's Natasha.
Natasha, there was also somebody else?
Sure.
It's Member Papo.
Okay. In that order, Mayor Mazoni and Tate Papo. Mayor Mazoni?
I'm sorry I interrupted you, Mr. Papo. It wasn't my intention. Speaker, I do have it on authority that 3 of the criminal bills that seek to fight gender-based violence, the Portfolio Committee on Justice has it on record as bringing those bills before their committee by July. So I would like to ask Mr. Castle to please just converse with the chair of that particular committee and make sure that those bills are in fact brought before the committee as per the commitment made by the committee, so that by July those bills are before them and we can have a report back in the middle of July, so that we can rest assured that those bills are appearing. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Ndate Papo?
Yeah, I just wanted to indicate that the letter on the legislative program indicates timeframes for each bill to be submitted to Parliament. A number of them will be in July, the ones of domestic violence, because I think it was the issue that Parliament was focusing on the money bills this month. But some of them will be submitted. They are ready. All the bills which are listed in that legislative program are ready. They're just being fine-tuned and so on. But many will be in this month, others next month. Not the ones of domestic violence. The domestic violence ones will be in this month. And the rest of other bills, there are about 30 plus bills, they will be in next month. So there is a time frame for each one of them for submission.
They're just being fine-tuned. Honorable members, anything else?
In this month, others next
Repeat.
Not the ones of
Madam Speaker, if I may.
Yes, please proceed.
And the rest of other bills, there are about 30.
I think it's only fair to the programming committee that I just give a little bit of background to the procedure that happens before a bill is certified and comes to Parliament. The fact that Cabinet has approved the principle of a piece of legislation is a cue for the Office of the Chief State Law Advisor to start preparing the bill to be certified in terms of our rules. I think it's Rule 279, which says that it must be constitutionally in order and legal technically drafted properly. Sometimes this can be very quick, and sometimes it can take more than a year. It depends on the bill, it depends on the size of the bill, it depends on the priority status, and it depends on interaction to and fro between the Chief State Law Advisor and the department concerned. So when we say that Cabinet has approved a bill, yes, it means that in a certain sense it does come to Parliament when Joint Rule 159 is complied with, and the purpose of Joint Rule 159 is to refer the bill to the Select Committee and the Portfolio Committee for the purpose of developing a position on the legislation and maybe work out a program of action. But that's basically as far as they can go until the certified bill reaches us, and then we start introduction procedure. I don't think a priority bill will take long, but it is important that the committee takes note of this, otherwise it can lead to a lot of frustration when you come to a new meeting and nothing has happened since. Obviously, we will try and keep you updated as best we can, but I think it's just necessary to know that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Bell. Is there any other intervention from the meeting? It seems we must thank you, Mr. Bell, for this. We then go to Mayor Philani Majake, the program. As best we can, but I think it's just necessary to know that. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Bell. Is there any other intervention from the meeting? Member Jackie, it seems we must thank you, Mr. Bell, for this. We then go to
thank you, Honorable Speaker. We are now on
the program.
week 20. Thursday, the 2nd of July. What will follow after this meeting will be caucus by political parties and committees. Tomorrow, Friday, the 3rd of July, will be committees. And next week, week 21, Monday, the 6th of July is constituency day. Tuesday, the 7th of July is committees. Wednesday, the 8th of July, at 10 o'clock, we'll have up to 12:45. There will be committees, and the Chief Whip's Forum will sit at 10 o'clock. At 15 hours, there will be plenary for consideration of the Standing Committee on Finance Revised Fiscal Framework and Revenue Proposal. Thursday, the 9th of July, 8:30 will be Programming Committee. Between 10 and 13 hours is caucus. And Friday, the 10th of July is committees. The next week will be week 22. Monday, the 13th of July, constituency day. Tuesday, the 14th of July, committees. Wednesday, the 15th of July, between 10 and 12:45, committees. At 10 o'clock, there'll be Chief Whip's Forum. At 15 hours, up to 16:15, there will be plenary for consideration of the report, the report of Standing Committee on Appropriations on Division of Revenue Bill and the second reading debate. Thursday, the 16th of July, 8:30, programming. At 10 o'clock, caucus by political parties, and then committees. Friday, the 17th of July, between 9 and 13 hours is PGIR meeting, and committees will continue. The week of the 23rd of July is the week of the mini plenaries, with Monday having been reserved for constituency work, not period. And then Friday is still the mini plenaries. Week 24, Monday the 27th of July is constituency day. Tuesday the 28th is committees. Wednesday the 29th of July, there'll be plenary from 10 to 13 hours for consideration of the report of the Standing Committee on Appropriations on Adjustment Appropriation Bill, first and second reading thereof, and consideration of votes and schedule. Thursday, the 30th of July, 8:30 is programming. Between 10 and 13 hours will be caucus by political parties, and the committees will continue similarly to Friday, the 31st of July. The constituency period will stretch from the 3rd to the 17th of August. There has been questions around whether the deputy president will be coming in for questions in July, but I guess your office, Speaker, will inform us accordingly. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Ndati Xaso?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Office of the Speaker has also received a letter from the Minister of Health, in which he requests an opportunity to make an executive statement in the NA on COVID-19. And Madam Speaker, I would like to recommend to the committee that this request be accommodated for next week, Wednesday, when we deal with the fiscal framework, either before or after the fiscal framework in the House. The Office of the Speaker has also received a letter, Madam Speaker, from the Deputy President Office proposing 30th of July for questions to the Deputy President. And lastly, Madam Speaker, there's also correspondence from the Office of the President proposing a question date for 27th of August, but that is in the third term. I thought I should just highlight the three issues. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The floor is open for further comments. Mema Jordina.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, let me welcome this presentation of the program and agree that on the 8th we allow Minister Mkhize to come and do the executive statement because at this time of the peak of COVID-19, it is very much important for members to be put afloat on these issues. I fully second that. Further seconding that the Deputy President answer to questions on the 30th of July so that we don't have any backlog. I appreciate that proactiveness from the Office of the Deputy President for giving us this date. Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Any other member?
Speaker, it's Natasha.
Ndate Singh and Mayor Mazoni, in that order. Amendment number 3. Ndate Singh.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, and thank you for presenting the program. I think what we have to note, like we said yesterday, Honourable Speaker, there's a fundamental shift in the second term. It's now extended until the 30th of July, and that's something quite fundamental, which Dr. Machaka referred to. And then the third term only starts on the 17th of August. But I also would like to know, Speaker, I know there was some correspondence between myself and your office with regard to a debate on the education, what's happening in the education sector, because we know people are returning to, children are returning to school, and it's quite an important debate. So we asked for that debate, and I don't know if it has been considered as yet by your office. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Zoni?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, the DA, the Leader of the Official Opposition, did write to your office asking for a debate of national importance on the dramatic increase of farm murders that has occurred during the COVID pandemic. And I was wondering if you had any feedback for us regarding that particular issue. And then also, Speaker, when will we have finality regarding which EPCs will be held on which particular days? I assume that the programming whip is going to sit down with the chair of chairs and formulate what days each particular EPC will happen. And I think that we must also just take an agreement here today, a standard understanding between us that there will be obviously many EPCs happening on the same day, given the fact that we have to go through this program with a lot more haste than we normally would, and we have to make allowances for that and understand it will be done in a very different fashion to the way it's been done in the past. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Memento.
Thank you, Speaker. Mine, Speaker, was on the issue of the 8th where we are going to allow a second statement made by the minister on the 8th. I need clarity. One, is it just going to make a statement alone? Are we not going to talk to the statement he's going to make? If then we are also going to talk to the statement he's going to make, why can't we then shift it to Tuesday the 7th? Unless he's just going to speak alone, informing us of what's happening. But I don't think it's correct for him to only give us the facts around COVID-19 and whatever issues he has encountered as a minister, without the House also deliberating on the matter of COVID-19 and its seriousness amongst our societies. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ndate Khaso, do you want to come in on the requests, the letters from Ndate Singh and Memazoni?
Speaker, maybe before Ndate Khaso.
Okay, ma'am. Jump in.
There is Mkhalipine.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I just want to comment on the program to say that it must be bring to your attention that the committee on COGTA is cancelled today because there's an information that is pending in order for the committee to sit today. As a result, we have proposed to the chair of COGTA to call the city of Cape Town to come and explain what is circulating on a video whereby a black man was humiliated, evicted during COVID-19. We are still waiting for that response from the city of Cape Town. And further to say that, Speaker, thanks very much for responding to our proposed debate on Black Lives Matters. We received the correspondence from your office, and we want to know when this will be put on the agenda or on the program, because I think it's more important on what is happening, even what has transpired yesterday in Cape Town, whereby a black man was humiliated in such a very dehumanizing way, Speaker. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yes,
Ndate Frolik, would you want to come in?
As Honorable Speaker, I will come in after Mr. Khaso.
Yes. Ndate Khaso, please take the floor.
Yes, indeed. Madam Speaker, the Office of the Speaker received, if I include the EFF request, 4 requests for SNAP debates, Black Lives Matter, and there's been correspondence between the Office of the Speaker and the party, and there were certain conditions that had to be met that have not been met yet, including the reformulation of the topic on that one before it is scheduled. And also there was correspondence on the matter of education, farm matters from the DA. Another one from the DA is on issues relating to diesel. Those matters are being processed by the Office of the Speaker, and the responses will be sent to the parties as soon as the issues are finalized. Thank you, ma'am. But the matters are receiving attention.
The matters are receiving attention. Ndate Frolik.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to indicate that, as I indicated last week and also yesterday in the Chief Ops Forum, committees have very limited time to process the adjustment budgets in front of them. So if we open up another day next week for sittings, it will immediately impact on those committees that have already submitted programs in line with the program as it was tabled last week. I thus agree that the statement of the minister should be on the same day as the consideration of the adjusted framework. And also the rules, of course, allow for party responses when a ministerial statement is made. It cannot be a question of the minister just making the statement and disappearing afterwards. It's an issue of national importance, and the rules allow for that to happen. Honourable Speaker, I also want to reflect on the finalization of the different budget votes that will go for mini plenaries. There was a discussion in the Chief Ops Forum yesterday, and there was different proposals that were made for committees to be added or for budget votes to be considered for mini plenaries. And in this light, we would want to propose that we do add water and sanitation, employment and labor, as well as small business development. It's all critical committees in terms of COVID-19. And there are changes that has been effected, even though it is not as far-reaching as some of the other budget votes, but in essence, the elements that are being dealt with there will have an impact on those different departments. Also, Speaker, we are saying that we are not going to do away with a question and answer session in the House, but the proposal was that we focus on those budget votes where there were no mini plenaries on, for question and answers to be taken during that question and answer session before we formally then consider the approval of the adjustment budget. Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Members, are there any other comments on this? Do we still seek any clarities?
Speaker Natasha.
Mayor Mazoni.
Speaker, I would just like to thank Mr. Kaso and Mr. Frolik for organising the particular budget cycle in a way that has made it very easy for political parties to be able to operate. And I know it has been an incredibly stressful and difficult time. And I believe that credit needs to be given when credit is due. And during this particular time, it hasn't been easy for anyone to put these things together. And I think we must appreciate the extreme stress and the urgency at which these particular items were arranged. And I think we can take our hat off to these people for a job well done.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Members, is there in that decision?
Honourable Speaker, yeah, I think we're all part of the Mutual Admiration Society this morning, and I want to thank Honourable Frolik and Mr. Kaso for accommodating those 3 additional mini plenaries. As the IFP, we submitted a list of 6 additional votes, but I'm appreciative of the fact that at least 3 of those will find their way for mini plenaries. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir. There was another voice. Is that Mem Kalipi?
Yeah, it's me.
Please
now, Ubabu Singh, usayabonga ukuthi use-accommodated by Ubabu Frolik. I wanted to ask Ubabu Frolik ukuthi kambe usinike isikhathi esingakanani to comment on those proposals, because to remember, Speaker, last time he
Mem Kalipi? Mem Kalipi? Can I take Ndate Ntombela as Mem Kalipi gets sorted out? Ndate Ntombela, you are muted, yeah?
Oh, thank you very much, Madam.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I think I heard, if I heard him very well, Ndate Kaso, talking about the reformulation of the topic on the debate about the Black Lives Matter. I could not get clarity. Can I get clarity? Or what exactly does that supposed to mean? Okay. The reformulation of a topic. I missed that one. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mem Kalipi, are you ready to come back? Mem Kalipi.
Can I also request Mem Kalipi to Aisha in Singisi, Madam Speaker?
Ashaye indoni
ngesingisi singaphindile yanto ayizolo. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know into
George.
Mente speak.
Memente. Please
okay.
take on Sisi. And
yes, Mem Kalipi wanted clarity on submission of proposals as per the report of Honorable Frolik. She's asking if have we closed now the proposals from political parties, because according to what we deliberated on yesterday, we all had an agreement that we will go consult our caucuses as to where do they feel most that it must be deliberated on mini plenaries, and then we can leave other committees for question session in the House. So she wants to know is that now opportunity closed, because we haven't now spoken with our caucuses. And if it's not closed, when is the due date for political parties to submit their proposals, just like Mr. Singh have done. And then the second thing is the date for the debate of the Black Lives Matter. The issues of topic can be corrected amongst ourselves, between ourselves and the speaker. We are not strict on how it's termed, but for as long as it doesn't lose the context of that the Black Lives Matter, and that we also pledge solidarity with the world on the issue of Black Lives Matter. Like also she has alluded earlier that the incident of Khayelitsha, which was circulating on media, makes this debate much more important and very relevant for this time to be deliberated on, so that we are all on the same page on how the racial attitude is still leading in South Africa and is still used to oppress the Black people. Thank you.
Thank you. Ntate Mulder?
Honourable Speaker, I suggest that we stick to the normal agreed process in terms of agreeing to issues to be debated of special importance. And that means that the Speaker is in consultation with that political party, and once that is finalized, we will schedule the debate. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ntate Papo?
I wanted to say that Mr. Frolik indicated the approach. My understanding was that the number of plenaries, they added 3 to them. Now, the issue which made me just need to clarify this question session, because I thought that question session was not going to apply if there are going to be plenary sessions. But also we must note that building a non-racial South Africa is so important because the Black man was humiliated by fellow Black people in Cape Town.
Thank you. Ms. Zakude, are you on? Did you want to speak, ma'am?
No,
Okay.
Honorable Speaker.
All right. We are back to you, Ntate Frolik.
No, thank you for the questions of clarity. May I indicate, Speaker, as the minutes correctly reflect, that we first tabled this proposal in terms of mini plenaries last week in the NAPC, and we asked political parties to respond and to make inputs, and up to yesterday's parties did. We are sitting under tremendous time pressures to finalize the logistics around these mini plenaries, and unfortunately that list and opportunity has now closed. Because it's the programming committee that must give us the go-ahead to schedule those different mini plenaries that has been agreed to. I must also state, Honourable Speaker, that when it comes to the mini plenaries and also the committee meetings that will be taking place in the lead up to the mini plenaries, we will make use of the virtual platform, where we will use the Zoom platform as well as the MS Teams platform, because using one exclusive platform will make it very difficult for us to increase the number of committee meetings and or mini plenaries that can take place at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we all responded to, honourable members? We have added 3. Ntate Frolik says that there having been no response from other parties, they ended up closing up. But I thought I heard Mem Kalipi's voice. Did I?
Yes, Speaker. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Thanks to the National Chairperson of the EFF, because I had a cut-off as usual, but I think she covered what I wanted to say. Since Mr. Frolik has responded on what I wanted to ask, and Babu Using Usayabong to say accommodated, can we get an updated list now? Because it seems as if there are 2 documents here, since Babu Singh now say covered, because ukwazi ukufaka esakhe isicelo and then sase siyamukelwa mhlambe ke sobe sesibona lapho ke Speaker. Also to say that Ubabu Papo is saying that a Black man was humiliated by another Black man, but let me remind him that Black.
Oh, Kaukile food. We've lost you again, Ma'am Kalipi.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, ma'am.
I suggest that we don't discuss this issue of Mpolweni Khayelitsha of yesterday. What happened on those evictions. Let's wait for a proper debate in the House, because if we start debating now who humiliated who, then we will have different opinions on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's exactly why we took our time before we responded on this. It is something that we must tread on honestly and carefully, because we still have a country to live in. Honorable members, shall I go back to Ntate Xaso? Is there anything you need to re-clarify in Ntate Xaso? Ntate Frolik?
Honorable Speaker, may I just indicate to the Honorable Kalipi that immediately after the NEPC this morning, the final list of budget votes identified for mini plenaries will be distributed to all political parties.
Yes, and there was also a question from Tate Papo whether or not in the light of many plenaries, we still want to have a question and answer session. Just respond to that, please.
No, Honourable Speaker, I think it's of critical importance to have the question and answer session, because it's not all budget votes that are going to the mini plenaries. So the question and answer session is that final opportunity to keep the executive to account and to answer questions around the budget votes and their budgets, so that the House is completely informed before it takes a final decision on the adjustment appropriation bill. And I want to reiterate also that the emphasis is that in that question and answer session, we focus on the budget votes that did not go to mini plenaries, so that we can also avoid a repetition of what happened in the mini plenaries.
Thank you. We look like we want to talk again. Shall we close this matter? Does any member have any announcement to make? No.
Speaker,
Majudina?
Yes, Honourable Speaker. Were we not going to attend to the third term program? Because Mr. Xaso just mentioned one thing or one activity on the third term. Is it not possible that we can also look at that? Because it will assist us in terms of planning. We are addressing our caucuses today. They want to know when is the constituency which was planned for July. Now it's taken to August. We want to speak with authority when we brief our caucuses, please.
Ntate Xaso, will you want to jot in quickly?
Madam Speaker, the proposal that has been tabled by the programming whip is that the constituency period in August goes until the 17th of August. And beyond that, we have plenaries. And I have pointed out that the President's office proposes 27th August for a question session to the President. And at this point, Madam Speaker, the plenary sessions are not populated yet in terms of the items to be dealt with. So I think there is still space to accommodate some of the items that would have been outstanding from July. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
From July, what falls off can still be accommodated after the 17th, after the constituency period.
Indeed, Madam Speaker.
Yes. Members, can we close this one? I do not have. Yes, ma'am.
I think one thing that needs to actually also be noted is the fact that August is the Women's Month. So we will continue to plan for the women's debate and the Women's Parliament. I think this is something that just needs to be noted.
Yes, ma'am, we'll see the proposals. And yes, August is Women's Month. I'm hoping that in these bills that must come in to strengthen the hand of the executive on curbing gender-based violence, that in fact committees do concur do sit together, women, the Committee on Women, the Women's Caucus, and any other committee, because we need to have collectively in the different portfolios, we need to have our voices in these amendments, because we are not going to deal with gender-based violence and leave it only to the Committee on Justice. The Committee on Women must actually make it their business that they are in that sitting and they participate. The rules agree that committees can sit together. And therefore, if you really want to get anything happening, in my language, two heads are always better than one. So I would really encourage members for us to begin to use the strength of Parliament to deal with issues, to look out, to be critical, but also to be constructive in whatever proposals we want to make. That being said, I wish to wish you all well. Look after yourself. Re-wash your hands very thoroughly. These 2 weeks are very, very bad. So keep safe, honorable members, and this meeting is closed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Ms. Speaker. Keep well.
Thank you.
Jotsis groet al Maltese.
Onsal,
Veilig.
I almal.
I like your English.